I'm finally getting some leads in, and of varying quality, and there's been like 3 or 4 that I've sold, and then I've sent them my
Uh-huh.
contract, and well,
Uh-huh.
not I sent them my contract and my and like a link to so they can pay, and then they haven't followed through with it. So
So correct me if
I'm
I'm wrong, Joe. So
failing.
like real quick, Joe, let me ask you that question. So you did so you've done the demo, you've done everything with these clients, right? And then you
Yeah,
send them
yeah.
the payment link. Is that what happened or what?
Well, I haven't done the demo. Like this is just closing over the phone. So I've only done one demo in the home so far, and it was like an old client of mine, and it was
Uh-huh.
kind of and they're like, and they started trying to break me down. Like, wait, so you're charging $1,800 for 5 sessions, and then they start mathing in their head and stuff. And then so that's where I say, if you want to break it down by price, it's really not comparable. If you want to break it down according to my experience and stuff, that's but clearly I haven't done a good job at like putting the value out there, and then I haven't had the follow through with getting payment while everything's hot.
Okay. And first of all, let's elaborate that a little bit. Second of all, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong. You told me this about 2 months ago. Remember we did that Tom Hopkins session about, lifetime value of something? You take the lifetime value of like, you know, a house or something divided by 365 days, and then you
Yeah,
get like, yeah. You did that once to somebody and it worked, did it not, Lynn? I remember you told me that. Is that correct?
it's worked more than once.
Share that with Joe
Yeah,
then, please.
so
Because that's
yeah, so I ask them how old their dog is. They say, "Oh, he's a year and a half. He's expected to live to be about 12 to 15 years old, right?" Yeah, okay. So to be fair, let's just let's take 12 years, 365 days times 12. And then you take the amount, 1,800, and divide it by the amount of days. And that's how much that person is paying per day to increase the quality of life of their dog. I mean, it's literally all they have to do is stop their Starbucks. I mean, if insurance companies can say for one coffee a day, you can have life insurance. I mean, can't we say for one coffee a day, you can have a well-trained dog? So
well
I kind
said,
of I
Lynn. Let's
could bite
go.
off the life insurance company with that. But are those 5 sessions, are those home sessions?
Yeah, either at home or like, I mean, whatever serves the client the best. If it's in their home, I do it there. If if they need to go out into public, I'll do it there. Just kind of depends.
Do you have a price of it being a more convenient location where they come closer to you instead of you going to them? Maybe you could start with that. And if they're like, oh, that's too much, well, I can offer you the same thing if you come my way, but this really includes, my travel time that I have to take out, including the time that it takes, the hour session.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I'm confident that I'm providing at least enough value for what I'm charging, if not more, and what I can do with the dog. So I'm hesitant to start making concessions on, okay, let's save you
Right.
money here and here. So, but I don't know if I'm being too prideful on that, and I just need to
Well, Joe,
suck it up a
Joe,
little bit.
let me jump in on that,
But
Joe,
it's like
because
yeah,
let me give me 2 seconds. Let me just harp
sure.
on that. Joe, you're at a point right now that you're trying to generate more revenue for your family, for yourself, right? I mean, in general. Okay.
Mhm.
So concessions, that's not a like, oh, I'm cutting my prices in half. It's just taking a little bit off. I'm not going to get into personal stuff with Lynn and I, but I gave Lynn an incentive today and we made something happen. But what I mean by this, y'all, is that it's okay, especially Joe, that you're trying to get that ammunition again. You're trying to get that momentum again. You're trying to get more case studies again, that it's okay to take a little bit off right now because you will get it back in spades later. Okay.
And
Does that make sense,
when
Joe?
a
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Go
And
ahead,
and
Lynn.
and think of it like this. When a new restaurant opens up in your
Well
area
said.
that
Yep.
nobody's heard of, and a new store opens up, what's the first thing they do? They run a sale. They run
Grand
They
opening.
cut costs, the grand opening, all of that stuff. They got all kind of specials going on. Now, of course, we're doing that with our ad, but sometimes you got to do addition by subtraction. And if
Yeah.
that means, you know, like people ask me all the time, I have my own shop. People ask me all the time, do you come to the homes? We do come to the homes. We can offer that. However, this free evaluation is for you to come to me, but I could come to your residence if you like for an additional $100. So the 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 service is free, but you're paying for my travel and my travel time. And most of them are like, oh, okay, that's no big deal.
Well, that's super
So
cool.
it's kind of the same, it's kind of the same thing with you. That's why I asked you, are you going to them? Because if this $1,800 is meeting them at their location, wherever they want to meet, well, flip it and say, well, I do have one other package, but it's a little bit lower, but you would have to come to me. And if their issues are things within the home, I would say that's why I offered you that package. Now we can still, a lot of the home issues are led from obedience and leadership. So we can still work on the obedience and leadership by you coming to me, and it will probably soften the issues that you're having at home. However, if you really want to hit that issue, you know, straight up, you know, I would need to come to you. Or you could say, you know, we can start out with this smaller package by you coming to me, and the obedience and the leadership that I'm going to teach you is probably going to resolve the issues that you're having at home. If you still have the issues and you still need me to come to your home, then we can just add on to the package. You know, maybe add on a session or two where you're going to them and just do single sessions from there. But it's better to get something than nothing, you know?
Yes. Well said. Well said. And Joe, I would jump on this, you know, because the weather's better where you are now, you know, winter times would be disaster, right? I would,
Mhm.
Josh Avila does this. He has good weather majority of the whole year. But what Josh Avila does is that picks a park, something that's like easy to get to, people know about, and he does these day sessions for like 2 to 3 hours. And the dog goes back with them, and he makes really good money doing that. And I would say this to anybody, guys, don't shoot yourself in the foot, period, when it comes to
Right.
business. There are if you're creating a relationship with this person and creating an affinity and you're communicating well and you're vibing well, do everything in your power to be, you know, just accepting of like, all right, well, you know what? I'll meet you in the middle. Let's try this location. Why not? Because guys, at the end of the day, you're trying to make money for yourself too. And you don't, I can understand if you guys or people are making like, you know, $200,000 a month, they're having a foundation and all these ammunitions and case studies, but you know, you got to start somewhere. And Joe, that's not a knock on you, brother. I'm saying that anything in any business. Okay. So, you know, at the end of the day, right, if you're at the freaking 1 yard line and all you need is just to pivot a little bit, like the person's already there, you know what? Fucking pivot. Like, sure, whatever you need. Like, okay, yeah, all right, you want $100 off, fine. It's not undermining your value. It's adding more value because that person's going to talk to 5 other people and 5 more people are going to come. Because the true value, guys, is yourself. Yes, there's a price on it, but at the end of the day, guys, a price doesn't exist until a transaction happens, a swipe happens. When it says successful, right? Everything else is mute point, and it doesn't exist, right? So, does that make
And
sense, y'all?